Cookery Club, I hope you're all keeping well. Today we're going to be making 15s, and these are a Northern Irish tray bake that is most similar to Rocky Roads but with slightly different ingredients. 15 of each of the ingredients, so 15 digestive biscuits, 15 marshmallows and 15 glazed cherries, alongside a tin of condensed milk. The best thing about making these is that you don't require an oven at all. Once you've got them made, you just leave them in the fridge for a few hours and then they're ready to be eaten. So the first thing you need is 15 digestive biscuits. If you put them in a little clear bag, you could do this in a food processor if you have one, or the old-fashioned way is just putting them in a bag with a rolling pin and hitting them until they're all washed down. So you want to do that until you mainly just have really small crumbs. If you still have a few slightly bigger bits, that's okay. It sort of adds a bit of texture to it. And then you're just going to add those into a mixing bowl. So our next step, you're going to leave that to the side for now, and your next step is you're going to want to get your marshmallows. So that's 15 of them. And you want to cut them into fours, so you're going to cut them twice. And there's no real, they don't need to be neat, there's no real set way of doing it. So I've already made some of these, or cut some of these earlier, so once you have them cut, just add them into your bowl with your crushed digestive biscuit. And then the next ingredient is our glazed cherries, and it doesn't actually matter which order you do all of these ingredients in, so you can do it in a slightly different order, it'll still turn out the same. With your glazed cherries, you're just going to want to half them. And this is the point where it starts to get really sticky. So I've done this for my 15 glazed cherries, and I'm going to add them into my bowl as well. So at this point, before you put your hands in it and it starts to get really, really sticky, I would get ready your baking tray, or what you're going to bake them in. So there's lots of different ways to do this, and I do it in a bit of a non-traditional approach. So I've got just a cake tin with some baking paper that then I'm going to put my finished product in at the end to leave in the fridge. So if you get that ready now, it saves your hands getting really sticky and then touching all your drawers and stuff to get that out later. So you want to have a tin of condensed milk, and it recommends in the official recipe for this that you only use 200 grams, which is just over half of the tin. I usually end up using a little bit more. If you just pour in half the tin and then see how sticky it is, and if it isn't all sticking together, you probably need to add a little bit more then. And you're just going to want to put your hands in this and mix it all around until everything is as mixed as possible and starting to form together. It's definitely not the most appetizing looking thing at this stage. So mine definitely needs a bit more of the condensed milk. I'm probably just going to use the whole tin for mine so that they're really sticky. So at this point, mine's starting to all sort of stick together, and to forewarn you, it doesn't look particularly appetizing. It doesn't really look like something you want to eat, but when you taste them, you'll realise they are really, really good. So you're going to want to get your cake tin. So the traditional way of doing this is that you actually roll it up, kind of in like a log shape, and then you roll it and put coconut on the outside, and then you leave it to set in your fridge that way. I find it just a little bit easier just to put it in a cake tin and flatten them out rather than rolling it. And you just sort of have to press it down. It doesn't really matter how thick it is. If you just fill whatever size tin that you have and then sort of press it all down, as long as it's all the same thickness, it should set at the same time. And before you go and touch your fridge handles and absolutely destroy your parents' kitchen, you might want to wash your hands first. That's what I'm going to just do now. That's only taken me, I think, around 7 or 8 minutes to make this, and this is what it looks like. Definitely not the most appetizing thing, as I say, but very good. So the traditional recipe is that you put coconut on this, and you can either do that before it's set or after. I've tried it both ways, and it doesn't really seem to make that big a difference. You're going to want to leave it to set until it goes quite hard in your fridge, and that can take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. I recommend if you just leave it overnight and then you know that it's set. After that, you can lift it out, cut it into any sort of shape that you want, and put some coconut on it, and it's ready to serve.